Did you know that 34% of home invasions and burglaries occur by the burglar entering right through the front door? That's right. And another 22% occur by them entering through the back door. Another staggering fact is how easy it is to kick down a front or a back door. A normal door that's in a home is just secured within a door frame that's made of some relatively thin and lightweight wood. And even if you have a deadbolt, that's going into that door frame that's made of that thin material. It doesn't take much force at all to kick that through, crack the door frame, and the door swings right open. So today in this video, I'm going to show you a relatively cheap and quick way to reinforce your doors to exponentially decrease the risk of somebody being able to kick in your front or rear or whatever door that you're securing. It's going to greatly reduce the risk of them being able to kick that in. In fact, this product has been proven to prevent most battering rams from being able to knock in the front door.
Now, if you look at my door from the inside, it's not very obvious what door reinforcement hardware I have installed on it. But if we take a closer look, you can see this is the door jamb reinforcement. Then we have a bracket that goes over the deadbolt end of the door. Another that goes over the regular doorknob with the strike. And then each of the bottom two hinges have reinforcement on that end too. The top hinge does not have it because nobody's leg is going to reach up there to try to kick it in, obviously. So that's where we have the extra reinforcement. And if we open up the door, you can see it right here. So that's on the door side. Then the door jamb. So now this is where the deadbolt enters into the door frame. Now this reinforcement bracket right here that's on the door jamb, you see how long it is. So that's gonna reinforce this whole entire length of the door jamb. And these are 3.5 inch long screws. So they go through the door jamb into the studs inside the wall to make them much stronger. And the same goes for this side, for the hinges.
Welcome to my garage. Now you're going to get to see me install one of these door reinforcement kits on a door. So I have another kit here, and it's the same brand that's on my front door. The brand is called Door Armor. I got it on Amazon. It was about 99 bucks at the time of this filming. I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested in buying one for yourself. Also, this particular kit came in at least 2 colors. Might have been 3. So my front door has that dark bronze color. It's like the brushed bronze look. So I got that dark brown for my front door. This back door is white, so I got the white kit for this door. So just keep that in mind when ordering.
Okay, so this is what's contained inside the kit. You got your instructions there. You have the hinge shields. Well, these are the hinge shields. There's 2 of them. This is the door jamb shield. And these here are called the door shields. One's for the striker or the strike, and one is for the deadbolt. 3.5 inch long screws and 2.5 inch long screws, I think. Yeah, 2.5 inch long screws. And they also give you 2 T20 Torx bits.
All right, the first step is going to be installing the 2 door shields. These use the 2.5 inch screws, so you're going to need 4 of those. And I'm using an impact driver because it's going to make this work a lot faster. Okay, now it's time to work on the hinge shields. So these have to be installed on your middle hinge and then the bottom hinge. So first, we're going to start by removing 2 of the existing screws that are closest to the weather stripping. See how short these screws are? Not very secure. Next, both of those holes are going to get pre-drilled with a 9/64 drill. So now we're pre-drilled right into the rough framing of the house, because next we're going to screw in one of the 3.5-inch screws. Okay, so I'm going to switch back to my Torx bit. I have one of the 3.5-inch long screws. Now just one of these screws is going to get screwed directly into the existing hinge. So I'm going to screw it right into the bottom screw here. Next, we're going to grab the hinge shield. We're going to line it up where one of these slots aligns with the open hole. As you can see right here, I have it centered on the hinge. I have one of the holes I just pre-drilled that's exposed through the slot. Also make sure that this lip right here of the shield is up against the edge of your door jamb. Okay. All right. So I get that lip up against there. Okay, so now with that secured, I can go ahead and pre-drill these next 2 holes. So you have the hole here and a hole there. That's going to secure the whole entire hinge shield in place onto the jamb. So everything that you basically are drilling into the jambs, you're going to need to pre-drill because it's going straight into the rough framing of the house. Okay, so there's one secured, then we do the same thing for the other hinge that's on the bottom. Also, one thing to keep in mind, you don't want to over tighten these hinge shields because they can literally start to pull the door jamb back and out, and it can make your door misaligned from where it used to be. If that happens after we screw these both in, we'll test shut the door, and if we notice that the door is misaligned, we're gonna have to loosen up on those screws a little bit. Now with both hinge shields in place, we can start working on the other side of the door jamb. Alright, so this is the jamb shield. The jamb shield has these knockouts. You got 4 knockouts on top, 4 on the bottom. These you want to line up onto your door jamb where the knockouts line up with your deadbolt hole and your striker plate. Now this strike plate is going to have to get removed because it can't stay there because it'll interfere with the jamb shield. If you have a deadbolt plate that's in there already and it's flush with your door jamb, like this one where it's inset, then this should be okay to stay. I'm going to line up the knockouts with the holes and see which ones line up best. So for my situation, this is my best alignment right here. So I'm going to remove this knockout and that knockout, and then as you can see, the jamb shield is relatively centered on the door jamb. And that's what you want. You want to try to get it as centered as possible onto the door jamb. These knockouts are easily removed just by pushing through on them. They pop right out. Just go ahead and twist the metal. Now this is optional, but I recommend it. There's little burrs here from where the knockouts were being held on to the rest of the shield. I recommend that you take a file if you have one and file those off so there's no sharp edges. So there we go. So when you're fitting on the jam shield, you want to make sure that it slides in behind the weather stripping that's on your door. All right, make sure it's not jammed up on the weather stripping. You want it to go behind the weather stripping. And then just line up the holes nicely. Also, you're going to want to make sure that you can kind of feel it when you start pressing on it. You want to make sure that this shield is sitting nice and flat onto the jam, because it's got that curved shape underneath it, and if you slide it too far in, the corner of the door jamb might be sitting up on this curve, and if that's the case, then it's gonna lift this jam shield out this way, and it could interfere with your door when you go to shut it. So you want to make sure that it's as far back as it can go before it starts to lift up by hitting that underside of the curb. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Alright, so basically you want this to be sitting as flat and far back as possible onto the door jamb. Alright, so I'm pushing on the door jamb right now, and I'm sliding it, and I'm feeling resistance right here, so I know that I don't want it to go back any further, because if I go back further, it's gonna lift up that way. Okay, so I got my holes lined up. Also, another thing, you don't want to go back further than the opening of your deadbolt shield right here. Alright, if you go back further than that, now you're cutting out some of that opening for the deadbolt, and you're gonna go shut your door and close the deadbolt, and it's gonna interfere with the jam shield. So make sure that that's not obstructed as well. Alright, so a few things you gotta keep in mind for putting on this jam shield. Alright, so once we got it lined up, I'm gonna pre-drill one of the holes. Alright, so pick one of these 3 holes here. I'm gonna go ahead and pre-drill the first one. And next would be to screw in one of the 3.5-inch screws. Now before I go any further, I'm going to test shut the door to make sure that it shuts correctly, and that the strike goes through here, and that the deadbolt can go through that hole. Okay, so now that we test closed the door, made sure the deadbolt worked, and the door actually shut correctly, it does get a little bit tighter, because keep in mind you are closing up that gap that you had in between your door jamb and your door slab. So it's to be expected that it's going to get a little tighter. But now that we test fit all that stuff, now we can go ahead and pre-drill and drill in the rest of our 3.5-inch screws. Now in this case, you're going to end up using all the remaining holes that are in the door jamb shield. Well, there you have it. That's all there is to it. Now my back door is just as secure as my front door from someone trying to smash it in or kick it in and gain entry into my home without my permission. So if you found this video helpful, give me a thumbs up, and then comment. Let me know if you're going to install one of these on your door, your home. And if you want more videos like this that can help you in your everyday life, subscribe. I'm going to be posting some more videos that I hope can be helpful for everyday homeowners just like yourself. So thank you for watching. and I'll catch you next time.